G'day everybody, it's Max, and welcome back to Satisfactory Update 4. That's right, and this would be episode 10. In our last episode, we actually started working on the main supply base for all of our other work that we're going to be doing. And this main supply base, of course, is going to do 4 heavy modular frames a minute and 10 motors a minute. Now, since our goals may change here in a little bit, of course, our goal was to do 5 turbo motors and 5 quantum computers, but it appears there aren't quantum computers, only supercomputers still in the game. Quite surprising considering they teased quantum computers in the Christmas update, but that's a little funny. But anyway, we'll work with what we got, right? And so in this particular case, what we want to do is put a little focus on getting the rest of our ground base up into the platform base. Now, this means that instead of us now focusing on the continued processing of foundries for steel, we want to continue working on the other production stuff. So we'll get back to the foundry stuff because we got to dig up a bunch of more coal and a bunch more iron for that. And in this case, we want to focus on getting down the machines to actually do to replace all the iron plate that we got going on, the iron rods, all the screws and the things, and we're going to need some numbers for that, right? In fact, we're going to need about 28 smelters to handle all them iron ingots, and then of course, we're doing the smelters now, but we actually need about 35, 36, another 10 is 46, and then another 31 is 71. So, we need, about 75 machines, constructors, to handle some of our iron plates, screws, iron rods, and then we got to do reinforced iron plates, which requires 6 assemblers and some other stuff. So, we got some work to do. Let's get to it. Now, as mentioned, we are not going to start up the whole base. We just don't have that kind of power output. So, of course, we're only starting up like 1/4 of the iron side. Now, we did start up the entire copper side, but it's only 8 machines. In fact, it's only 3 machines if you actually look at a true build for 410 frames and motors. But we want extra for like iron, for copper sheets and a few other things, right? So we're only starting up 1/4 of that iron side, so it's just where it is. So that means we got to carry on, right? Now we're probably going to run them foundries. Let's take a scoot down here. We need 12 foundries, and foundries are not small by any means. They're definitely not small. I do have enough on me to make 5 of them. So what I'll probably do here is let's give ourselves a little room. I'll do 1 there, 1 there, and just to make sure we have the numbers, we'll take that one away. So we'll pretend that's 3. This would be 4. This would be 5. And this would be 6. You know what? I'm actually feeling pretty good about that. In fact, yeah, all right. That's pretty cool. That's pretty groovy. I'm not going to keep these here right away, but I just want to kind of leave this down here as kind of an indication of what it is we're going to probably need to make that work. Cool. All right. Well, now that we kind of know that, the next thing is we need a bucket load of stuff. I know that. The biggest output is going to be iron rods. And that's because you need a lot of iron rods to make rotors and screws. And remember, we're not using any alternate prints for this one because we want all the raw materials. We want all the iron rods and all the screws and all the junk, right? Because it's a supplies factory. It's not like where we're trying to build the turbo motors and we want to get around every little screw that we don't have to deal with. Okay, this means if that's where we can probably start. Actually, we probably should start the copper build. We're going to probably run this iron out and go down that way. And if that's the case, then I would actually start probably the copper build here, because it's actually pretty small and might actually be a little easier for me to deal with here. So, which requires, say, 14 wire and 2, so that's 14, 15, 16. Cool. And there's our outputs. Now, these are going to have 8 outputs. Again, 3/8 is 240, right? If everything was running just groovy like, we should be able to run constructors all over the place here. This may not be so bad. Let's see. Now, I do kind of want to leave a little space kind of kicking around just in case. You never know, right? You never know. You just never know. You never know. Of course, we kind of want to do that on this end. You're going to do that? Sure. Now, this is one of them times where I'm going to do things in reverse. And again, I mentioned this on the last one. Because I'm going to get a 240 line, I'm expecting this 240 to come out here. So I'm okay of taking this line and then splitting it out. All right. So let's see. We're gonna do that, I think. Cool. And of course, I still can't jump that. Don't be silly. Okay. What do I need here? I need 14 to a 16. All right. We can probably do that. We can probably do it in 2 groups of 4. It's probably even a safer bet to do. So what I'll do is I will now bring it back once I've got this all kind of wired up, because it's going to be just like these, and I'll show that off when I'm all done. So hang on a sec. Okay, there's another beautiful sunrise coming up. We of course want to get into looking at the copper build of things. We basically have these machines here. So there's 2 groups of 8 for 16, and then we have 6 on the end. Those 6 are going to be just for doing cable. The 8 machines on this side are the wire for that cable, and on this side, 6 of the machines are doing just wire for wire, and 2 machines are doing copper sheets for something to do. They're all going to run down their outputs. Each of them are going to run their outputs down here onto these belts that, as you can see, are kind of floating overhead and then into these containers. Then, whatever they need to do next, they'll run out of these containers and then go do other things somewhere else. But we want to see if this will work first. So let's get this all fired up. Nothing new. Oh, you're not going to do very much, are you? No, you are doing copper sheets, yes, but you're not going to do very much if I don't plug you in. So let's make sure we do that. Okay, cool. Now, let's get this all fired up and see what happens. Now, this is probably going to suck up a little power, but shouldn't most of the time, because the only thing from a production line perspective here is going to be the actual, I believe, the cabling itself. The rest of it is just for my building purpose, which means if I'm not taking anything from the box, it shouldn't be making anything for the box. Whereas the rest of it is going to be like recycled and all the things, right? Now, we have to get you to plug into you. So we're going to do that. Do this right there, up like this, and then down like that. Now, remember, this is totally the wrong belt for this. This is not the right belt at all for any of this. we should be using Mark III belt. But obviously, to get Mark III belt, you've got to have steel, and we don't have steel yet. So we're building it as if we had Mark III belt, but we don't have Mark III belt yet. So that's why it's going to look a little quirky. But we have copper sheets coming out. Yes, that's a good thing, and they should be coming out of these two machines. But then we're going to have wire coming out of this one, I hope, at some point in time. Hopefully the first two machines don't steal it all. Now, down the other side, of course, it should be making wire, but that wire is actually going all the way down here to the very end. Yeah, like that wire is going on a trip, right? And the reason, of course, is it's going to go all the way down here, and then it's going to go up through here and make a turn and go into you guys. Oh, except you're supposed to be cable, and I haven't got you set yet. Hello. Here. Darn it. I can't get over you. Copy that, would you? I can't get over you, but I can get over you. So, well, it's just as fast for me to select it from the menu. I must admit, at first I thought copy paste was going to be a big benefit, but it has turned out to be very little benefit. Like, I can't just stand here and just go Control V. Why can't I just look at it and go Control V? Or why am I even doing that? Like, if I set this at cable and then I copy this machine, like, you know, if I look at this machine and say, okay, I want to make a copy of that machine and put it there, this should already be set to cable. Why is it not set to cable? Like, that's just, I don't understand that, right? And no one can tell me that it's a programming thing. I've been in programming for 30 years. I know it's a doable thing. The question is why aren't they doing it? So, anyway, we'll see. So we have cable coming down here. That's good. We like that. It's going to be a while to get down there. But hey, look at that. There's cable. And then my only question is wire. Because I don't think any of these machines are getting any ingots. Is that because I forgot a thing? No. You guys are just hogging you guys are just literally hogging it all. Well, I mean, that's okay, I guess. That's not the end of the world. But so as they don't hog it all, what I want to do now is I'm going to go downstairs and empty out those boxes and bring the inventory up here. So, and so as we don't end up with all this duplication. So this is where I'll now take the cut. I'm going to do some transferring back around. And once I've got all that done, we will now plan out the iron plate line and the iron rods line. And the screws line. See you in a minute. So, after getting the extra stuff downstairs and collecting it all up, I thought, well, I might as well just keep right on building, because that's what I'm doing. And so, what have I done? I have, let's see, is it under, no, it's under something, yeah, it's under, I always find the lookout tower is under a very weird place. But nevertheless, let's fire one down here. Did I put it in backwards? Sure I did. Okay, that's fine. So, I basically thought, well, you know what, I've already got this stuff in my hand, I might as well keep going. So I built the entire line needed for doing iron rods and iron plate. Now, in this particular case, only 10 machines are needed for iron plate. So it's a fairly straightforward build, that one is. But you need a lot of iron rods because you gotta then got a lot of screws. Now, remember how I was saying earlier that we were building these for Mark III belt, and of course the whole reason behind that would come out apparent soon enough? Well, now the appearance is going to happen, because you need 36 machines to do iron rods, to do the 410 combination that we're trying to do. Well, those 36 machines divided into 4 is 9, and when you combine those 9, like, so you have 9, 9, 9, 9. So if you take two groups of 18, the output of two groups of 18 iron rods at 15 a minute is 270, not 240. So see how the 270 works out for you in this particular case when it comes to actually doing iron rods, because it's a weird, iron rods is a weird number. And it turns out, hey, 270 works out perfectly fine in our case. Now, again, we can't fire this all up. We're probably going to be really close to burning out, if not totally so, and I'll probably have to start cutting some machines back. But I would like to at least get one side running. Now, this is an entire iron rod side. This side has iron rods, and it has the 10 extra machines on there for iron plate. So I would like to at least get this side running, so as we have iron rods and iron plate coming in. I need power. Now, I'm just going to actually borrow it from this pole. We'll stop here, because that'll be for that one eventually. And I may hook it up to a main line over there somewheres, but then we'll hook up this one here. Now, I have hooked up all the additional iron smelters. So we should actually run over here for a quick second and have a look at that too. Now, the reason I hooked these all up is, is because, of course, these won't all run, but they're all going to be needed. So you're supposed to be hooked up. Oh, right, yes. Let's do a thing here. I actually have to hook these all in. That's a good thing we ran over here, because I actually got to hook these all up. Yep, you can do a thing now. And again, these are not, all of these lines aren't going to run, because first of all, we're not even going to turn on half of that other side, so we should be okay. Are you not doing your iron ingots yet? Why are you not doing your iron ingots yet? Oh, that's not good. How many did I miss? Oh, I just missed this bank of 8 by the looks of it. That's all right, though. I can quickly run through here and fix you guys right up. I was going to say, I had better have belted you in, because that's going to upset me. No problem. All right, there we go. Now, you guys just send your goodies down that line for me, and I'll be all happy. Now, again, we're running this all on Mark 1 belt, and we need Mark 3 belt to keep up. So a lot of this is not going to keep going for very long, right? You know, I mean, yes, some stuff is backing up, of course, because once the box is full, it's full. And, I mean, you don't need any more of it. But, of course, when we first fire things up, all kinds of craziness happens here, right? For sure. So, you know, you just got to go with it. You just got to go with the crazy. Yep, that's the way it is. So now, we're going to come down here. We're going to plug this in, and then I'm going to put a tower down on the other end to show you a little bit of the quirkiness that we had to do to make 36 work instead of 32, because that would have made life a lot easier. But I don't understand why games do that. Why do games make such difficult math happen, you know? So if we plug that in, we are actually now have the potential to use 645, even though we only produce 600. Now, our consumption is the key here, because as long as our consumption stays below the gray line, hey, we're fine. And again, once certain things happen, I'm going to go downstairs and definitely fill these boxes up so they don't keep running. But once certain things happen and fill up, then we should be okay for the consumption overall, and it'll be all right. Now, I do want to run down here. So everything's pretty normal. I do want to run down here and put a tower in, and I'll show you what I mean. Everything is very normal. So in this particular case, what we have is, do I have everybody plugged in? Why do I think I don't? That's because I don't. I knew I'd missed one line somewhere. So let's get down here. You can go ahead and do that. Let's go. Okay, so, of course, obviously from the iron line, all right, and had I been thinking, I should have put the copper line on the outside and the iron line on the inside, because you are not doing a thing. You're not doing a thing because you're just not plain set up, sir. Why is that? I have no idea. It's like I totally missed you. You're like the one missing element. There you go. But in any case, this is why I'd left these lanes so as I could bring iron through. So, in any case, The first 2 sets of 8 smelters, of course, are coming down here, and they are loading into these 2 lanes of smelters here. Now, 8 smelters, okay, will feed 16 16 machines of rods, because they only need 15 ingots a minute, and each smelter will pump out 30. All right. The problem is that would be great if I was doing 32 machines, right? So you have 16 smelters, you'd have 32 iron rod machines. Hey, the math works out great, no problem. But we're not doing 32 iron machines. We're doing 36. Yeah, so the problem is 4 machines we would be short. And if we're short 4 machines here, then we'd be short even better on screws, which then makes us short on everything else. So down here, right, we have 4 added machines. And what's going on here is they are going to get their iron borrowed from the iron needed to run these 10 iron plate machines. Now, 8. So we have 16. We have 16 smelters left over, right? So the first 16 are being used by the first 32 of the iron rods. The second 16 smelters would have been used, or would be used, by these 8 machines here, right? So that's what's going to happen there. Plus, we're going to borrow a little extra off of those to plug into these 4 machines right here, and that's what's going on here, right? So we're actually going to take 2, 4, and these 2 here for an extra 2. Oh, looks like I missed a thing. 2. Thank you. No, 2. You know, when you're doing a lot of machines, now this is not a miss, by the way. These guys are getting their iron from that back line, but these 2 machines here would get it from this borrowed line of things. Okay, so that is supposed to be that way. And now we should be having iron plate. Look at that. That would be iron plate, and that's going to work its way down here. I already seen iron rods coming down here. That's awesome. Awesome. I doubt the iron plate's gotten all the way down here yet, because it is a little bit of a travel. But yeah, we got 52 in there. Awesome. And of course, we got 67. Now that box is got some in it. How do you have some in it? Oh, that's because you're emptying from this side. This side, of course, is not turned on, so obviously it doesn't have anything to empty on this one. So with that, I'm going to now, once again, go downstairs, and I'm going to grab a few things. Now, I'm going to do the first run on camera, because I fixed my jump pads. Yeah, I know. Because now you can see my containers are covered up with this build. I can't use the container to come up to the top. I can only get down using the containers, and I have to use the pressure or the pushy pads to get me up here. So let's see. Yep, this is good. So I have to get down here. Boom, like so. Which is fine. I got no problem with that. Yeah. Sure, that works good for me. Now, what's this doing? This is doing not too much. What do you got? Yep, you got a whole lot of that. So let's say I want to take a whole lot of that and put it in the container upstairs, right? So now I'm going to run over here to the jump pad. And what I've done is that the first jump pad doesn't take you very far. It only takes you up a little bit now, because I've dropped that second pad down a fair amount, right? But hitting jump pads don't hurt. So now, no damage. Hey, I like that. I wasn't big on that whole damage thing, but okay. So I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna transfer stuff up, and I'm gonna bring you back. Yeah, it's getting dark here anyway. You know, the darkness is a little bit dark, and there'll be plenty of episodes where we have to work in the dark. So No sense doing that. We'll let these boxes fill up, and then I guess I'll bring you back for kind of the wrap up on this episode. And then we'll be on to the next part of this crazy build, which for the next episode we'll be doing the crazy assemblers. So I will see you guys in a sec. With all the downstairs stuff now brought up here and stuffed into these boxes, really the only thing left downstairs now is screws, which we are going to have to make next. Now, that's going to be a thing, because it takes like 32 machines to make screws, so we're going to have a big screw assembly. I guess it would have to go over here. I don't know about back there, but maybe back there, because I mean there's only 12 machines here. If I do the screw assembly back here along with them, the screw assembly is mostly for the reinforced iron plate, and so I'll have to look at it a little more just to see where it's all going to go and how it's going to lay out. But with everything kind of humming away, of course we're still only using not even half the factory, right? Well, we're not even using these lanes at all, so they're just, you know, the boxes are filling up, but they would they're filling up a lot slower, obviously, than if we had everything running. And that, of course, is once again because of our because of our power. Well, we're not power short. Well, we actually are, but at the same time, we don't have all the power in the world, right? We are already 45 over what we produce, and the only thing saving us is that these Mark 1 belts just won't deliver the material fast enough to the machines for them to run out full tilt. So in this case, these old Mark 1 belts are actually saving us for now, as the machines are not able to actually fully produce. But they are putting stuff in boxes. That's what we want. We want stuff in boxes, and that's a good thing. So our copper stuff is in those boxes, and our iron stuff will be in this boxes. These are just a few extra boxes that I was using to hold things while I was transferring stuff up and down and all around and all the cool stuff. But now, actually, what's going to happen next episode? Well, before we go downstairs and take a quick peek there, next episode, as mentioned, we got to get, I'm going to have to get in some kind of screws. Obviously, and we got to do about 30 machines, a little over 30 machines for that. And then we've also got to do, because we have 36 machines here, and I think it takes 32. 4 machines are used for the rotors, for then the motors. You know, all the math that you got to do in this game, holy smokes. We, of course, got to get the steel up and running, and that is going to happen over there. Man, that is going to be a hard trip. So that pretty waterfall that you see in the far distance, yeah, that looks great, doesn't it? And on top of that hill that's right beside it are 3 pure coal nodes. Problem is getting to them. There's a nice path that runs right up the side here that looks great, except that it's covered in so many stink plants you could never use it. And I wish there was a way I wish they'd come out with a way to remove these stink plants, or these stink molehills or whatever they are, but they haven't yet. I find that is a really big drawback on the game world as a whole, is that you cannot get rid of them things. It's just they really do mess things up. So, which means we're probably going to have to build some sort of ladder structure up the side of this mountain to get at them. That's how it's going to be. Now I am having my sinuses are a little bit plugged up. We're in the middle of a storm here, so I've had to go outside and take care of a few things, and now my sinuses are like, hey, you know, welcome back indoors. Thanks. Let's go downstairs, so that we're gonna have to take care of that next episode. We got to get a bunch of screws made next episode. We got to get a bunch of we got lots of things to make next episode, you know, and we're gonna pick at least a couple of things and get them done, because we definitely need the screws and stuff, because downstairs is basically stopped working. And let's quickly go down there and have a look at that. Where's my hole at? Here we go. All right, here we go. Woohoo! All right. Oh, no. Thanks, dude. Yeah. So anyway, of course, we had cut these machines off because we don't want to be using this stuff down here anymore. They have all since run out. These have all since run out, and the only machines that were left were these couple of machines. But I see they are now emptied out. So I'm going to take that all apart. And yeah, there is literally nothing left running down here. So we might as well recycle all this, because I mean, there's a good, there's all kinds of reinforced iron plate being used down here. So we definitely want to recycle that in. And then, of course, we want to get this moved upstairs too. And I finally want to get the MAM down to finally get some research going. We've got a couple of little bonus features in here that we can get researching right away, right? Like the bacon and the alien organs and all that stuff. And we should be researching that stuff while we're working on this supply base. So, with that, next episode. Clean this up and get it upstairs. Get the screws down and make a little adventure to a waterfall that's going to be a real pain in a gazebo. That's right. I'm Max. This is Satisfactory Update 4, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Take care.